Remember, as I said earlier, no one person is more responsible for California's decline than Gavin Newsom.
Now, man, all that reputational damage that's being done as they're sitting there on horses with American flags running through soccer fields, scaring kids that are playing soccer in the middle of the day at a summer camp. For what? Just toughness. It's a weakness masquerading as strength. That's what I don't like about this son of a bitch. I don't. And forgive me, I know he's the president of the States. Forgive me, I didn't, yeah, he calls me new scum. Come on. How do I explain that to my kid? Now I have my kids' friends calling my kids new scum.
Is part of this that voters are so fed up with what they see on the streets of their cities that as a politician, you've got to clean up those streets?
Yeah, well, that's generally the case, but that's not the inspiration for Care Court.
But is there a political factor in this for you?
As an electoral strategy, I'm termed out. That's not the issue. The politics here is compassion. The politics is purpose.
You may be termed out here, but does cleaning up the streets of California factor into a potential presidential run?
I'm never going to overpromise that in the short run. I mean, we are struggling in this state.
You're not answering my question.
Homelessness. No, housing and homelessness.
People suggest that cleaning up California streets could be part of a larger political strategy for you.
I think that's table stakes. I think that's just a foundational responsibility of anyone that gets into my position. That's the day job. It's not about some grand ambition. Absolutely not.
Is that a yes or a no?
That was a never-ending response to your question.
Maybe Jerry Brown, who was mayor of Oakland and had been governor and was governor twice and mayor of Oakland. But Gavin Newsom was 8 years a city council person, 8 years a lieutenant governor, 8 years a mayor, and he will be 8 years a governor. So he'll have 32 years in the Bay Area, where his Bay Area, not LA, is now with Silicon Valley money and left-wing, but that's what runs California.
Victor Davis Hanson launches a scathing critique, pointing the finger at Gavin Newsom as the architect of California's decline. After decades in office, his polished image hides a record of failure: unaffordable living costs, crumbling roads, and mass migration out of the state. What was once a beacon of prosperity is now a case study in dysfunction. While businesses shut their doors and middle-class families head for friendlier states like Texas, Newsom maintains the facade, dining at elite restaurants during lockdowns, pushing policies that punish everyday citizens, and positioning himself for a White House bid. Beneath the surface, Hanson suggests, lies a carefully manufactured figure, propped up by legacy wealth and entrenched interests, more invested in appearances than outcomes. The state suffers while he smiles for the cameras. This isn't just a Californian downfall. It's a glimpse of where the country could be headed if ideology outruns accountability.
So he's more responsible, and he has been overseeing all the regulations that we're going to get rid of refineries, and he bullied them and bullied them and bullied them. You got to have the California Air Resources Board does this, and you have to have this blend, and you have to do that. And finally they said, you know what? We're going to go somewhere else. You keep importing oil from the Saudis, and you're going to have to, import gas from Nevada or, I don't know, Arizona. Go ahead, and Texas, I don't know. But we're not going to do it anymore. And that whole Richmond corridor for Northern California, they're going to leave. And gas will go up to about $8 a gallon, and all the left-wing millionaires along the coastal corridor will be happy. But he's going to panic, because they're going to look at that when he wants to run for president, and his Democratic primary rivals will bring it up. What's the price of That's what Ron DeSantis did when he beat him in that debate. What's the price of gas? How many people have left California versus Florida? What's your tax rate versus ours? Here's how many people you have, and here's your budget, and here's how many people we have in our budget. And he's done all of that. And so, remember that line in Animal House where, what was that guy's name? I know everybody knows. Dean Wormel, or what? Wormer? Yeah, he says to the
Dean Wormer.
Going through life fat, lazy, and ugly, or is that what he said? Fat, ugly, and lazy is nowhere to go through life. I feel like somebody should say being incoherent, incompetent, and I don't know what else, corrupt, is no way to go through being a governor, Gavin, because everything you've done, from high-speed rail to the tax rate at 13.3 to gasoline tax that you're now increasing, it's going to be it is the highest in the nation, to 40 cents a kilowatt, to Stonehenge high-speed rail, to we drove home today from Menlo Park on the 152 from Gilroy to Casa de Fruta. Hasn't changed in 60 years, 70 years. I remember going 3 or 4 years old, 4 years old, and that's your legacy. And the LA fire, the Aspen fire, the Paradise fire, all of that, you took paradise and you made it into purgatory. That's what you did. And then you, every once in a while, went to Napa wine tasting while people were trying to get a permit in LA, and you went to the French Laundry while you shut down everybody else. And you can't help but you're living in a $9 million house. Your wife has government contracts. You were a Nepo baby that got everything from the Getty family. And now you're kind of a character. He does that little neck thing. What is that? He goes back and forth with his neck. It doesn't work anymore, Gavin. The hair slicker and the vat, all that doesn't work.
In this video, Victor Davis Hanson doesn't just criticize Gavin Newsom. He lays bare what many Californians feel, a deep sense of betrayal by those sworn to protect the state. Newsom's rhetoric no longer convinces, and his symbolic gestures can't hide a record defined by neglect and arrogance. California's decline is no accident. It's the result of decades of ideological decisions detached from reality. And if this is the model he hopes to export to the rest of the country, then it's not a vision, it's a warning.